My name is John Cottrell. This is Soft Flow. This is a 60-minute yoga practice. We like to use some props for this class. And of course, we like to have a blanket, just something soft to sit on and also kneel on. So be sure you have a blanket, or even if you don't have a blanket, maybe you can just fold your mat in threes or something like that when we come time to need some extra padding. You might need a strap. We're going to be doing some leg extension work today. So kind of some stretching through the hamstrings mostly, but some forward folds, just some work around with the whole leg area. So a strap will come in handy. And if you have a couple of blocks, and then maybe for your Shavasana practice, a bolster or a big pillow, just something soft, either just lie on or to prop yourself up. So again, a 60-minute practice. This is John for Soft Flow. We like to start our practice in seated. So find a comfortable seat. I like to sit in half lotus. This is just comfortable for me. If it's not comfortable for you, that's okay. Just find something that is a little bit more comfortable. You might extend your legs, one leg or two, or if you need something to sit up against, like a wall or a chair or something, please feel free to do that. So sit up nice and tall, settling in. Feel free to close your eyes or just soften your eyes. Just start your deep breathing. Just slow, steady breaths in and out. Allowing yourself just to tune in, tuning into the sound and the feel of your breath. Allowing yourself to arrive in this space, to be here in the moment. As you take these slow, deep breaths, you might find that it's kind of difficult to think about something else. It takes your full attention to take deep breaths. So if you're ever needing just to clear your mind, just take a few deep breaths. Allows you to focus. Very good. You're very welcome to create a personal intention for your practice. If something that you're needing or desiring for yourself, just call that in. Just breathe that in. Go ahead and take 3 more slow, deep breaths, completing this breathing meditation. We'll start our moving meditation. Whenever you're ready to move, no rush, and inhale to extend your arms out and up, just reaching into the air, full stretch as you complete your full breath in. Then exhale, extend your arms out and let them float back down by your side. Now you're just following the pace of your own breath. We can do that together one more time, and inhale to extend your arms out. Good energy in your hands and fingers as you reach across your room, reaching for the ceiling. Then exhale, extend your arms out, let them float back down by your side. Then just continue to breathe and move on your own, moving at your own breath pace. And maybe you're moving in slow motion, and as you're moving, just notice the sensations in your body. Movement of your shoulders as you reach out and up into the air. Feel the lengthening through the sides of your body as you reach towards the sky. and any other sensations that might arise as you're breathing slowly, taking your time in this gentle, steady, moving meditation. Go ahead and finish the breath that you're on, and then take 2 more breaths, reaching up and out. When you're complete, just go ahead and take your hands behind you. Just lean back into your hands. If you can, just roll the shoulders back gently, tip your chin up. You'll inhale and you press into the floor with your hands. Allow your breath to rise to fill up your lungs. So a nice deep breath in. So hopefully you'll feel a nice expansion in your lungs. And as you exhale, as you're able, draw your navel inward towards your spine. And even squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you. So we're adding more sensation to the body. So again, as you breathe in, press hands into the mat, strong arms. Feel your heart lift and open and expand. Exhaling to engage your center, navel to spine, and squeezing shoulder blades together. And do that 3 more times on your own. Deep, long, expansive breaths. You might even feel a stretch across your chest from shoulder to shoulder. When you're complete, just go ahead and lower your chin. Walk your hands towards yourself. Go ahead and inhale and extend your arms into the air. Just another reach and stretch. Just a re-extension through the spine and body. Exhale, bring your arms back down and let them rest by your side. If your legs are crossed, we're just going to change our leg position, uncross the legs. Just place the soles of your feet together, just coming to cobbler's pose. And if you'd like, you can use pillows or blocks if you need a little extra support on either side of your legs, maybe something like this, especially if the legs don't go all the way down, and they certainly don't have to. This just provides a little bit of support. And then hold on to your ankles or shins or feet. I'm going to sit up nice and tall. Very good. A nice inhale to feel that extended body. As you exhale, draw belly in and start to hinge forward a tiny bit. You're leading with your heart and chin coming forward just a little bit. So not a very big movement at all. Once you're here, take another full breath in, more extension through the spine as if you're lifting yourself up. Exhale, draw belly in, hinge forward a tiny bit more. Pause for a couple of breaths and just check in with your body. Notice how this feels. You're certainly welcome to stay in this position. It's not a very deep stretch, nor does it have to be. Remember, we're working at about 60%. You certainly can go a little bit more, maybe 65 or 70%. And that might mean lowering yourself down a little bit, even allowing your chin to drop and your back to round. Just so you start to feel more of a flexion or stretch quality in your back, even through the back of your neck. Sometimes that can be a little stiff. And just the lowering of the chin can help release some of that upper back and neck tension. Hold wherever you'd like and just breathe in and out deeply. For sure, notice the sensation in your inner thighs and hips in this hip opener, cobbler's pose. And if you are rounded in this forward fold sensation, even take a moment to take a deep breath and try to breathe into your back body, meaning maybe try to expand your upper back, like you're breathing into the back of your lungs. And just 2 more breaths like this. And if there is a curvature in the spine, you're just going to lift your head just to look forward to help that re-extension of your spine. You might use your hands on your mat to help press and lift yourself up, just a little assist of your own body, just to rise up until you're nice and tall in your seat. Just hold here for a moment. Nice. And if you're using some props, we'll just set them to the side. We're just going to switch our posture and swing the legs around and come to hands and knees. So if you'd like to use something soft like a blanket, or even just folding your mat underneath you, you can do that. Just to protect your wrists and your knees. And we'll start here in this tabletop position. We do cat and cow. So it's an inhale to lift head and heart, a little arch of the back. Doesn't have to be too major of a movement. Exhale, let's round it all out. So chin will tuck in towards chest. Tuck the pelvis under, belly button pulls up towards spine. Inhale, let's reverse it. Feel the pelvis tip back, your belly might drop a little. Send your heart forward, look forward. Exhale, round it all out. And just continue to breathe and move at your own pace, creating this nice undulation through your spine. Good movement in your hips. This is very nice for the low back. If you happen to have a stiff or sore lower back, this is a nice gentle movement. If you want, you can add a little bit more to this, and I'll demonstrate in a second. So you can just finish kind of just these two postures, cat pose and cow pose. And if you'd like, maybe some movement of your hips. I'm just circling my hips here. And just get creative with this too. And this is nice because you can really get into your hips. I'm just going to turn towards you. If I bring my knees together and then just kind of push my hips side to side and just hold that, the side I'm pushing into, I get a nice stretch in the outer hip area. For me, that really feels good because I tend to get tight in my hips. So you can do that. I'd like to bring the legs together and just kind of lean to one side. And I give it a little massage. I'm just kind of rocking forward and back a little bit just to give that section of the body a little massage. And again, you can always go back to the circles of the hips or back to your cat and cow flow. Again, whatever feels nice for your body at this moment while we're in this position. Let's go ahead and take 3 more breaths in and out. After that third breath, just return to this neutral tabletop posture. Just come to stillness for a moment, just to finish that short sequence. Let's get ready for our next posture, which is downward facing dog. If you're using some padding, let's unpad, so you might move your blanket out of the way. Just return to your hands and knees. And we'll get set up here. I just need to adjust my mat. Here we go. And then from here, just step your hands forward, just so your hands are out from underneath your shoulders. As you step forward, spread out your fingers pretty wide so we can get a stretch between each finger. And kind of lean in or press into your palms so your palms get a little flatter. Your hands get a nice stretch right here. And then tuck your toes. Here, take a breath in and take a mini cow pose. A little back bend, look forward. Exhale, round it out into a mini cat pose. Hold that position. Make sure your toes are tucked so you can lift your knees and then your hips up and back a little bit, forming your inverted V shape. We're now in downward facing dog. Just a quick adjustment. We're not going to hold here long this first time. It's just an introduction to the pose. And now look at the space between your hands and start stepping forward up to the hands. You might need to rise up onto your fingertips to get the feet underneath you. Keep a good bend in your knees. We're in a deep forward fold here. Go ahead and inhale and slide your hands up to your knees or thighs to extend your spine so you're long and flat like a table. That halfway lift, very good. Exhale, fold again back down towards toes. Hold for a moment here. Even lean forward a little bit towards your toes.
Keep a bend in the knees. Notice the sensation in your low back and in your legs. Give your head a little shake here. If you happen to be holding your head up, just let it hang. Give it a little shake. Now shift your weight back into your heels quite a bit. Bend your knees, let your hips drop like you're about to sit down in a very low chair. Look forward to help extend your spine. As you're able, extend your arms out to the side as spreading your wings. Press feet firmly into the floor to help straighten the legs. Standing up now, reach into the air. Big stretch. And exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. So we now have arrived in mountain pose. Pause for a moment, take a breath, our first standing position. Let's do that half salute once again. You're going to inhale, sweep your arms out and up into the air. Exhale, spread your wings again, bend your knees, sit back and down into that chair behind you. Folding forward very carefully. Once your belly touches your thighs, let your hands drop, let your head drop. There's our forward fold. Inhale, slide your hands up to your knees or thighs, extending your spine so the top of your head leads forward. Exhale, fold again. Let's pause again. So the exact same thing we did earlier. You kind of lean forward towards your toes. You might find that you have to grip your mat with your toes so you don't fall over. Keep a good bend in your knees. Relax your head. Give it a little shake. Once again, start to shift your weight back into your heels. Bend your knees, let your hips drop, look forward. Extend the arms out to the side. Breathe in fully to help stand up all the way. Let's move into extended mountain pose. Reaching into the air. There you go. Exhale, bring your palms together and back down to your heart. Returning to mountain. Hold here, take a breath or two. Excellent. Let's go ahead and continue. We'll move into our sun salutation. Here we go. Inhale, extend your arms into the air. Reach high, good effort in the extension. Exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees, sit back and down. Moving slowly if you can. This is good muscle work too. Let the back round as the hands drop. Let the head drop. Feel that natural curve in the spine. Inhale, rise up halfway. Slide your hands to your knees or thighs. Create your tabletop. On this exhale, bend your knees enough to fold and bend so you can place your palms on your mat. Lean into the hands so you can just start walking or stepping both of your feet back until you're in plank pose. In plank, you can be just like this on your hands and toes. You can also bring knees to the floor if you need to. Take a breath in. We're going to exhale, bend the knees a little to send your hips up into the air and our return to downward facing dog. We're going to hold here a little bit longer as you're able. You can always rest. Adjust your feet, adjust your hands on your mat so you can just settle in. Continue with your nice deep breathing and add some movement here if you'd like. You might pedal the feet. What I'm doing, I'm pressing one heel down as the other heel lifts. And just alternate like you're walking or pedaling a bicycle. And maybe notice the stretch or lengthening sensation in the calf muscles. You might hold that stretch. You might exhale and feel the heel press towards your mat to get that full length and stretch quality in the calf area. As you lift the heel, you'll get a stretch through your toes. Let's do one more on each side. We'll continue with our flow, moving into our lunges, breaking it down. So pause and down dog. Now we're going to inhale and lift your right foot and extend the right leg back. It doesn't have to lift high. Reach back towards the wall behind you. As you exhale, bend your right knee. Bring that right knee in underneath you towards your chest. Shift your body weight forward so your shoulders are over your wrists. You'll set your foot down onto your mat. It may not make it up to the hand. That's okay. Just set your left knee onto the floor so you can slide this right hand back, literally pick up your right foot and place it up a little higher. Once you've got it in place, relift that back knee. Now your weight is probably forward.
We need to move the hips back towards the back edge of your mat so we can start to take the weight off the hands. If you can see me, I'm starting to slide or rise up. You see there's no weight on my hands. I can just easily brush my mat with my fingertips because there's no weight on my hands. And that starts the extension of spine. Let's go a little higher by bringing the hands up to the thigh. Press and lift to about 45 degrees. Let's press back with that left heel. You want to again feel that activation through the hamstring and calf muscle to help engage. Now, squeeze to inner thighs. Imagine you've got a block or an object between the thighs. You have to squeeze. Pull belly in for more security. Extend your arms out to the side. Rise up until we're perpendicular to the floor. Reach into the air. Big stretch. Then as we exhale, just lunge a little deeper. Let's hold here for a moment. Take one breath in and out. Now we're going to hold the lunge, but bring your hands down to your hips, just about here. So we're going to hold the lunge, but let's just relax the arms. Let's just keep this action. So let's just pay attention. If you lunge a little deeper, so we're working this front thigh and quad. That back leg is working. Back heel is pressing back to activate the hamstring and calf muscle. Hip flexors getting a nice stretch. Inner thighs are activating. Let's inhale to sweep the arms back up into the air. Lift up out of that deep lunge. Pivot or turn that left heel to the floor. Your body turns sideways and bring your arms down to parallel. So now we're in Warrior Two. That's it. Hold for a moment. Still good leg work and our hip opener. We're going to move into a triangle pose, which means we're going to straighten this front leg. Now, I have a lot of distance between the feet. Now, you can do that. You can stay just like this, or because we're moving into triangle, you can shorten the distance between the feet if you like, which I'm going to do. And once you've done that, just return to what I call triangle prep. You're just getting ready for triangle. Nice and tall. Now start reaching out over the straight right leg, reaching out with the right hand and rotate the arms. Reach down and reach up. And just notice what's happening. It's a nice hip stretch. You might feel that. A side body stretch, and of course, a nice hamstring stretch. To come out of the pose, we're going to start by bending the right knee to create a lunge, which gives us some leverage to come back up to a Warrior Two. Then we're going to reverse the warrior. Take your right hand up into the air. Reach for the ceiling. Get a stretch now through the right side of the body. Now again, that right knee is still bent. It's lunging forward a little bit. Then we're going to windmill. Turn to bring the hands down to the floor in front. Rise up onto your tiptoes behind you. Weights in the hands. So you can slide the right foot back. Return to plank pose. Hold. And bend your knees a little, send your hips into the air, or return to downward facing dog. Now before we get to the other side, bring your feet together. So maybe the big toes touch or the inside edges of the feet touch. And you're gonna kind of let the right hip kind of lean to the side. If you can see, I'm kind of letting the hips kind of drop to the right side a little bit. Then swivel back up so the hips are high, and then let them kind of drop down to the left side. Then back up to center. You can step the feet a little wider. Now inhale to extend the left leg up into the air. We'll exhale, bend the left knee, bring it in underneath you, shifting your body weight forward, knee coming towards chest, shoulders over wrists, setting the foot down onto your mat anywhere. Set the right knee onto the mat, and then literally pick up the left foot to place it up closer to the top edge of your mat. Getting ready for the lunge. Let's relift that right knee, shifting the hips back so there's no weight in the hands. You can easily float up a little bit, dancing on the fingertips like this. And then we'll bring the hands up to the thigh to help press into the thigh to lift upper body to about 45 degrees. Hold here so we can activate the lower section of the body. Pushing the right heel back. Feel the activation of hamstring and calf. Inner thighs squeezing in towards each other for good stability, strong core. Take the arms out as you inhale, reach up, perpendicular to the floor, reach high, exhale, lunge low. Hold. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, just bring the arms down and just bring them to your hips. And let's hold the lunge for a little bit longer. Now, this is a balancing posture, since that back heel is not on the ground. So we want to make sure we keep that activation. We got our front thigh, lunging, bending in the knee, strong quad, back leg very active, pushing back through the heel, maybe a hip flexor stretch, hugging to inner thighs, stretching or strengthening the inner thighs. Let's inhale, sweep the arms up into the air, lift yourself up out of that deep lunge, pivot right heel to the floor, turn sideways, arms come down to parallel, warrior two. Hold for a moment, just to arrive in the posture. Let's prepare for triangle. Let's straighten the left leg. If you want, shorten the distance between the feet. I'm going to do that a little bit here. Arms still extending out parallel to the floor, and then reach out over your left thigh, angled upper body, and rotate the arms. Be sure your left leg is straight so we can get into that hamstring. Nice extension, good stretch. Notice where you have sensation in the body. Ready to move? Let's start by bending this left knee to create our lunge and leverage to come back up through a warrior two. Reverse your warrior, left hand reaching up into the air. Then we'll take a big windmill, bring the hands down to the floor in front. Rise up onto tiptoes behind you, pressure into the hands. So you can slide this left foot back, meeting the other. Hold. Bend the knees a little, hips to sky, downward facing dog. We're going to take a seat. You might just softly bring the knees to the mat first. Sit back to hero very briefly, sitting off to the side, sitting on your mat. Swing the legs around to the front. We're just going to continue our leg work. If you have a strap or a belt or something, let's get that ready to go. But first, let's come to staff pose. So you want to sit up nice and tall, long, straight legs, flex your feet, have your hands on the mat right by your hips, and just push into the mat to help lift and guide your torso up a little bit. You might roll your shoulders back, squeezing shoulder blades together. Looking straight ahead, so you have a nice long neck for good posture. And just take several breaths in this very active pose, staff pose. Again, long legs, flex your feet. Hands rooted into the earth to help lift and lengthen through the torso. Shoulders roll back. When you exhale, engage your belly. Just draw the belly in. Just feel all that action in the body. 2 more breaths. You can soften a little bit. If you happen to have a strap, let's get that ready. Go ahead and wrap the strap around the bottom of your feet. I can also show you how you can do this if you don't happen to have a strap. So if you got a strap, you just got around the feet, holding on to the strap on either end, and just a little bend of the elbows, just kind of down by your side. If you tug on the strap a little bit, that will help you assist your own spinal extension, just to sit up nice and tall. Very good. If you don't have a strap, just continue sitting in staff pose for a moment. Go ahead and inhale to feel a little taller in your seat. Exhale, another little tug of the strap. Start to hinge forward. Same thing as we did earlier. Lead with your heart in your chin, just a little bit, like we did in that cobbler's pose. We're not going too far or too fast or too deep. Just holding for a moment, holding yourself in place with the strap. Again, if you don't have a strap, maybe you extended your arms into the air. You exhale and just brought the hands down maybe to your knees or shins. Maintain that nice lengthened spine. Inhale right where you are. Exhale, pull belly in, a little tug of the strap, and hinge forward a tiny bit more. Or without the strap, just walk your hands down towards your feet.
Again, you can stay just like this for working at that 60% level, or maybe go a little further if you want, but be sure to maybe put a bend in your knees. Let the head drop. Let the back round. So initially we were working with the hamstrings. Now we've added more sensation, so just notice where you do have sensation. Maybe it's your back, maybe it's your neck, shoulders. Maintain nice, strong breathing. Two more breaths. If your back is rounded, just lift your head to look forward out past your toes. Maybe a nice full inhale to rise back up into your nice and tall in your seat. Take a breath or two. Maybe you're still holding on to the strap or hands are on the floor by your hips. Let's go ahead and relax. Let's go ahead and release the strap and set that to the side. Let's come back to cobbler's pose. You might lean back so you can bend your knees, bring the soles of your feet together. But this time bring your hands behind you like this. Just lean back into your hands. Roll the shoulders back, tip the chin up. Push into the floor gently, fill up the lungs. And as you push into the floor, what happens is your torso lifts upward. And it might create a little bit more opening in the hips. So your knees might drop down a little bit more, just a little bit. A couple of breaths here in this minor back bend and hip opener. Go ahead and lower your chin. Walk your hands towards yourself to sit up a little taller. And let's shift to one side so you can swing the feet back behind you. Just return to hands and knees. Set up for down dog. You're going to step your hands forward a little bit. Spread out your fingers. Press palms into the mat. Strong arms. Tuck your toes. Inhale to look forward for a mini cow pose. Exhale to that mini cat pose. Hold that sensation. Lifting knees and hips into the air. Downward facing dog. Quick adjustment, hold for just a moment. Now look at the space between your hands and take a walk back up to the top of your mat, next to the hands here. Feel the deep forward fold, but then slide your hands up to your knees or thighs with an in-breath to extend your spine, half forward fold. Exhale back down. Now hold here. Now this could be a partial fold. You don't have to go all the way down because we're going to hold this posture. You're going to take your hands behind the legs. Maybe it's at the bend of your knees. Maybe it's at your calves or lower. Once again, lean forward a little bit towards toes. Let the head and neck relax. You might hang a little bit heavily forward. Keep a little bend in the knees. Now, right where you are, inhale and try to extend your spine. Maybe just a simple lift of your head as if you're trying to go forward, wherever your crown is pointing. Exhale, pull belly in a little tighter. And fold a little deeper as you're able. There you go. One more time. And inhale, just to feel like you're trying to extend your torso longer. Exhale, pull belly in, folding a tiny bit deeper. Now start leaning back into your heels. Bend your knees, take that imaginary seat, look forward. Swing your arms out to the side. Press feet into the floor strongly, rising up. Reach into the air. Exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Hold for a moment. From here, we're going to inhale, extend your arms into the sky. You're going to exhale, just bring your arms down slowly. And as you bring them down, you're going to start reaching behind you like this. Just reach back like you're reaching for the back corners of your mat. Palms are open, nice active hands, shoulders are naturally rolled back. Nice long neck, making sure you're looking directly forward. Now, if you're able, go ahead and interlace your fingers. You can keep reaching like this, but if you're able, interlace your fingers. Just fold your fingers. And that might allow you to roll the shoulders back a bit more, squeezing shoulder blades together. Now, if this is too much sensation for your joints, your shoulders or elbows or wrists, then go ahead and release the clasped hands and just reach back. Or take a little chair pose. So just bend your knees, let them jet forward a little bit, and then tip forward a little bit like this, like you're in chair pose. This is as far as we'll go. So the folded fingers are lifting away from the body just a couple of inches and reaching through your knuckles towards the back edge of your mat. A couple more breaths. We're going to continue with the flow. And we're going to release the fingers if they're folded. Stand up tall, reach into the air. Just keep it moving. On your exhale, spread your wings, bend your knees, sit back into the imaginary chair. Start to fold slowly and carefully. Hands come down, head will drop. Inhale, sliding hands up to your shins or knees, extending the spine. Exhale, bend your knees enough to place palms on your mat. Walk or step both of your feet back into plank pose. Breathe in. And exhale, bend your knees here to send your hips into the air or return to downward facing dog. A little tiptoe forward or any adjustment with your feet and hands. Keep it moving. We're going to inhale, extend right leg up. Reach back strongly. Exhale, bend this right knee. Bring that knee underneath you towards your chest, shifting body weight forward, setting the foot down. Set the left knee onto the floor if you need to, so you can pick up the right foot and place it up higher, or just scoot it forward if you've made it up closer. Let's relift that left knee, shifting the hips back to find balance, taking the weight off the hands, rising to fingertips. Bring hands up to your thigh. We're still breaking this down. Up to 45 degrees. Let's activate the legs. Create the anchor with that back foot. Squeeze to inner thighs. Pull in belly. Sweep your arms out to the side. Rise up. Keep reaching up nice and tall. Then pivot left heel to the floor. Turn sideways. And we're going to be in that triangle prep again. So both legs are straight. So be sure your right knee or right leg is straight. I'm going to turn this way. Now, you're going to turn that foot so everything's facing the same direction. All 10 toes facing the same direction. That's it. You're going to breathe in and reach out with your arms feel tall. As you exhale, pull your belly in, bend your knees, and slowly fold. Bring the hands down. Maybe they catch the mat, or if you've got some blocks or a pillow or something to catch that, you can do that as well. So maybe like this. And once you've made it down, we're going to inhale, rise up to fingertips to re-extend the spine like this, just a halfway lift. And exhale, let's fold again. So just another variation of the nice forward fold, which really captures more sensation throughout the leg. So it's not just the hamstrings. When compared to being in a standing forward fold when your feet are together. Here, this gets into the inner thighs, it gets into the outer portions of the legs. You might find that you can actually fold a little deeper, and that's because of the wider stance. Still okay to keep a good bend in the knees. I would suggest keeping some softness in your knees. We don't want to lock out the knee joints here. Now follow me. We're going to rise back up halfway. Rise to fingertips to extend your spine. See if you can hold that posture right here. Then we're going to really shift the weight back into the heels. Bend your knees, let your hips drop. This should sound familiar. We did this before when the feet are together. We're in this like huddle stance, like on a football team. Hopefully this releases the weight from the hands so you can take your arms out to the side. That's it, just spread your wings. Now strong push into the floor with your feet, straightening the legs, standing up tall. Return to your star shape. I'm just going to call this a star shape. Inhale here. And exhale, bring your arms down behind you like this. Just reach back. We'll start there. But if you're able, as we did earlier, interlace your fingers. Roll shoulders back. Open through the chest. We're going to inhale, tip your chin up. As you exhale, pull belly in, bend your knees, and then fold again. Now you don't have to go all the way down. This could be a partial fold, since we've added a sensation of the folded hands behind. Plus, we won't hold here as long. Really gets into the shoulders, opens up through the chest, and very strong legs. We're going to inhale and start to hinge our way back up until we're nice and tall. We extend the arms out to the side in our star shape. I'm just going to turn my body. You're going to turn your right foot forward and lunge into a warrior two. That's it. Now reverse your warrior. Take your right palm up, reaching into the air. Another nice side body stretch. Then our windmill. Bring them both arms around, hands to the mat. Step back into plank pose. A nice strong straight line. Then bend your knees, hips into the air, returning to downward facing dog. Hold for a moment. We'll do that same sequence other side. Inhale, extend left leg up behind you. Exhale, bend your left knee. Bring your knee in underneath you towards your chest. Shift your body weight forward. Set your toes down. Set your right knee down so we can pick up that left foot. Step it up a little higher. There you go. Relifting the right knee. Shifting the weight back. So you can easily rise to fingertips. Then hands to thigh. Press to lift up to 45 degrees. Be sure to activate the legs. Start with that anchor. It's that right heel pushing back. And then squeeze inner thighs towards each other. Sweep your arms out with an inhale. Rise up here. We're going to exhale and quickly opening up to a warrior two. Or actually our triangle prep. So straighten the left leg. Then you're going to turn your left foot so all 10 toes are facing the same direction. There you go. You got to adjust your feet if they're not aligned. You want to make sure you have a bit of alignment underneath you. Same thing. We're going to inhale, reach out. Exhale, pull belly in, bend your knees, and fold. We're doing the exact same thing. Folding, maybe the hands or fingertips come to the ground, or some stacked blocks. Finishing the breath. Inhale, extend the spine, rising up to fingertips, helping to extend your spine. Then exhale back down to your fold. Hold here for a moment. Now your body has already been here, so you can start playing with this pose. If you like, maybe take your feet a little wider apart. You can even add some other movements. Maybe you'll walk both of your hands over to one foot and just do a little twist and lunge to that side. And then, of course, the other side, whatever you'd like to do here. Nice deep breaths. Going back to center. We're going to inhale, rise back up to fingertips, extending the spine so you can hold that posture. Start to lean back quite a bit into your heels, bend your knees, let your hips come down and back a little bit. This should take the weight off of your hands, hopefully, so you can extend your arms out to the side. We're in that nice huddle position. Push feet into the floor so you can stand up, return to your star-shaped position. Hold here. You're going to inhale, reach out. Exhale, bring the arms down behind you, reach. If you're able, interlace your fingers or just continue reaching. So folded fingers behind you, maybe rolling shoulders back, opening up through your chest. Go ahead and inhale and tip your chin up, expanding through your heart space. Exhale, pull belly in, bend your knees, and return to your fold.
There you go. And that could be a partial fold. You might not go all the way down.
So nice strong legs to help support your body. And of course, we've got some upper body work with the arms behind us, opening up through the chest, the shoulders, engaging the back. Ready to move. We're inhaling strongly to hinge our way back up until we're tall, releasing the fingers, re-extending your arms out to the side. Just turn the left foot forward, lunging into a warrior two. Okay, still with me? Lunging into warrior two. Let's reverse the warrior, left arm reaching up into the air. We're going to windmill or bring the hands down to the mat in front. Stepping back into your plank pose. Hold for a moment for a little extra strength work. A little bend of the knees, send hips into the air, downward facing dog. A breath or two here. And then go ahead and bring your knees down to the mat. Sit back briefly in hero pose. If you can hold hero, even just for a few breaths, let's try that, because that gives a little stretch in the quads. But that can be a little sensitive on the knees, but it does stretch this portion of the joints here. Stretches the muscles around the knees here, if you can tolerate that, and then also stretches the ankles. All right, go ahead and sit off to one side so we can get off the feet there, swing around to the front. We're gonna lie down. We're coming to the close of our practice. So you wanna scoot forward so you're sitting in the center of your mat. Make sure you have your props nearby. If you wanna use props as we get closer to the end, go ahead and roll down onto your back. Lying down flat with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Just pause for a moment. No engagement of the body just yet. We are going to get set for our bridge pose. And for bridge, you're certainly welcome to use blocks or a pillow for this. So just take a nice full breath in, fill up your lungs. Exhale to empty your belly. Then as you're able, lifting hips just high enough so maybe you can slide an object, a prop underneath you to sit on. So it might be a big pillow or stacked blocks or books. And literally just sit on your props as you create this nice mild back bend. We'll hold here. This can be very nice because it can be quite relaxing. We are in a back bend type posture. It opens the front body, but you don't have to engage too much, which is perfect for our intention for this class. Now our next movement is a leg extension. There's no rush to get into the pose. And if you happen to be on stacked blocks, you might want to stay on your blocks. And when you're ready, extending both of your legs up into the air. Now, if you don't have blocks, you can always just come down flat onto your mat. Just lie flat on the ground and then extend your legs into the air. Either one's fine. Just want to be able to extend the legs. First, fully activated so they're strong. You can feel the strength in the legs as they lift. This is also core work to be able to extend the legs in the air. And then feel free to add some movement. Again, getting creative with the leg movement. I always seem to start with like bicycle pedaling, but then just start moving the feet, wiggle your toes, circle your ankles. Maybe flex your feet, point your toes. Just again, getting into the ankles a little bit, activating your calf muscles, okay? Maybe some out motions and back in, like a little scissor cross. Gets into the inner thighs a little bit. Any movement, again, getting creative, there you go. If you're familiar with eagle pose and how to get into eagle legs, you can probably do that here, just kind of wrapping the legs around one another or just crossing the legs. Even giving them a little squeeze when you cross the legs. It's like giving yourself a little acupressure when you do that. Some easy movements in our inverted posture since the legs are nice and free. Take 3 more breaths. When you feel complete, just bend your knees so you can set your feet back down onto the mat. Press into the ground so you can lift your hips to remove your props if you're using them, and then bring yourself down to the ground completely. Once you're there, go ahead and hug your knees into yourself. Hug the knees towards your chest, even some more movement here if you'd like, a little circle of the knees. You can give your low back a nice massage. Taking the time that you need here. We'll finish with a twist. So we'll start by taking the knees over to the left side. Extend your right arm to the right side, creating that nice spinal rotation. Take 3 more breaths. You certainly can take more breaths if you want to spend more time on this side. Again, no rush. Whenever you feel complete, just take your time to return to center. Hold in center so everything can realign. And then carefully take knees down to the other side. Noticing the sensations in your body. Also noticing your breath. Maybe the breath is a little bit more calm. Go ahead and take 2 more breaths. And again, whenever you feel complete, go ahead and return to center. Set your feet onto the floor, knees bent. And so you just take a moment to decide which final posture you want to take here. You might take another movement like a hip opener if you'd like, or if you're ready to go right into Shavasana, please do so. Maybe you want to do another twist, another circling of the hips. Anything is game right here. Or just start moving into final relaxation. That might be your Shavasana or something with props. You might use your bolster. I'm going to go into this nice mild back bend where I've got my bolster here. I'm really just draping myself over the bolster, the blanket to support my head. So something like this. It can be any pose. You can even just lie on your side, lying flat on your back. You can even elevate your feet and legs if you want to. However you like to finish.
Stay exactly where you are. No need to move just yet. Just an opportunity to return to the awareness of your breath. And now that you have this awareness of your breath, take 5 slow, deep breaths. And as you're approaching your 5th breath, prepare your body to move. And after your 5th breath, moving as slowly as you can, start to roll onto either side of your body. Just holding here for a few moments in this nurturing pose. Take another breath or two. Continue to move in slow motion. Slowly guide your way up to a seated posture. Once you're tall in your seat, you can just let your arms and hands just rest comfortably down by your side or in your lap, or bring hands to heart center. And I invite you to take one more full breath in with a complete breath out. Holding in stillness for a few more moments. As we come to the close of this portion of our journey together, we bow saying, Namaste.